corre-me tudo bem. Para ser diário. Neste momento a banda está fixe, a minha banda está fixe. Toco a bateria, claro. Uma semana atrás escrevi uns poemas, tenho andado a escrever uns poemas, também a desenhar e isso. Faço várias coisas. Agora, de resto corre-me tudo bem. Hoje, que dia é hoje? Hoje é para aí dia 8. Não, hoje é para aí dia 10. É dia 10 de novembro, hoje. Agora está quase a vir no Natal. Sei lá, quando eu vejo isto vai ser para aí, sei lá. Para aí de 99. Não, também não exagero, mas 98 já é de certezinha. De certezinha. O tempo passa.
Hi everyone. So, do you know who this kid is? I'm this kid back in the mid-80s, and today I'm a music composer. So, nowadays, we record everything, and everything is a story. But back then it was really hard to record something. And why did a 14 years old kid decided to make this time capsule? In a way, I feel like he sent this message to my personal self. I sent it way before I had a digital profile, because in a way I felt like I was going to lose part of who I am. Small details like why didn't my parents like cartoons? Or why aren't they riding their bikes all day? And that made me wonder. He talks about writing poems, having a band, like drawing. He had this complete freedom. And I think it was an innocent, creative freedom. And we all grew up being carried on. So we keep carrying our thoughts, defying the boundaries of our personality, perception, and reality. In a way, I think we lose ourselves when we grow up, like if the social expectation of our dreams, it's our first barrier. And recording this makes me put life in perspective. Let me show you something. So, I made this life map. Let me try to explain you. So, there are the years. I was born in May, and then this is my age, and those were the years. So there are significant, some main events that I put here, like skateboarding, school, and then here, there are my children when they were born. So when I look at this, it's like it becomes foggy. Where is my childhood? Our childhood starts in one point, and it's like if we are different people along the way. We are too many people in one lifetime. And back then, we had nothing to lose, and now it's like we lose ourselves before we take any action. Picasso said, every children is an artist, and creative identity is in every one of you. Traveling to 16 years old, have this So, Serra da Falperra, I'm not from there, I'm a city boy, but my parents are from Trás-os-Montes. And I had everything, like, I have, let me try to tell you, an ZX Spectrum 48K, an Amstrad PC 151, double floppy, I think, with no hard drive, an Olivetti, and still, this was my favorite place to play. You wouldn't imagine how much things you can learn in one day just by picking and throwing rocks around, defying gravity, and so many layers of green. It's like feeling this warm breeze in your chest, and most importantly, for me, true silence. We don't have this here, and we don't feel it every day. And why am I talking about this? It's like you need time and space to create music, to create this organic concept. Because we are talking about technology. Technology would be always a tool, an amazing tool that we are working every day to, that is becoming more and more advanced. But it's really important to have time to start and build this organic concept. Because if you put tools ahead of you before you, there's a quite probability that you lose your creative identity in the process. Let me give you an example. This is an amazing piano, by the way, a technological object. So when I make music, and when I try to encourage others to make music, identity, it's everything. Let's imagine you are the sea. So you were born a sea, you grew up, and you have your idea. And you have someone with a different idea. You are so similar, but in a way, you can collide. Your identities can collide. But then, if you leave room for you both to exist, you can create a different reality. And if you listen to each other, everything can go well. And then you start to wonder, it might be difficult, but it can also be born an idea. A fragile idea at first. So, I also did different things. Like, I start skateboarding. So I put some wheels on my feet and like a bionic booster, Those were different times. Rolling, like the Walkman on my belt. Those were the times when we listened to entire albums. By the way, how many of you know what is a Walkman? Everyone, okay. So I also played drums for a while on a band, 2008, if anyone know. And the thing with drums, you don't feel that frustration with that instrument when you can't play it, but when you're not allowed to play them loudly. It's a very physical instrument. I thought bringing it here, but difficult logistic. The piano was difficult enough. And Luis, thank you for all this. So back in those days, my YouTube lived inside a VHS tape that went viral inside of my room as we watched it over and over. Later, I graduated in psychology and studying and practicing I practiced for 10 years. I learned about insecurity. I learned about anxiety, fear of judgment, all these things. And me, as a self-taught musician, I always have this, like, I felt intimidated with people who knew how to play everything. So I tried to try and find some teacher, and I found the most wonderful, this wizard that now is my teacher, Fernando Lapa, a well-known composer. And notes are like basic code. So with the same small amount of notes, you can bring up so many realities. So that changed my life, the course of my life. And I decided to set up a studio, Claraboia. So here, I invite all these musicians, different musicians, to play. You see, musicians have this intimacy relationship with their instruments. It's like they spend hours and hours developing that. When we hear in the radio, they are already completely recorded, and it's a special thing that I was allowed to hear. And actually, it's a magical thing that if you are in that zone, you actually can put them playing at the same time. Different people, different days, and they will sound great. Different things, and this is a beautiful jungle, an entire ecosystem that makes musicians with different styles play and try to adapt. And I wanted to take an identity, the identity of a person without experience. They should be allowed to do that. And that's what I was searching for. And I made these musical workshops without any requirement training in music. You can come here and try to express yourself musically. It's not like At first, people are skeptical, but then they lose themselves and they start experimental. They go to their childhood where they didn't have nothing to fear. And so the wizard I was talking about, my teacher, he told me something. Composing is creating a reality that you don't know what it is or how we do or how to do it. I can really relate to this. So I spread all my memories here. Technology is everywhere. From the kinetic movement of my keys to the way as you perceive it. I'm lucky enough to work every day with art, culture, and technology. I have to learn all about software all the time as a producer, and the software and the music hardware. And that made me more imaginative. And I would advise to you, if you try the same, you also sound like music. Sometimes we embark and live lives that we know are from others. It's a lonely route. We know we have to do it alone. Exploring, we come out of our comfort zone before we are comfortable with our conquerors. When I knew I was going to be here talking about this, I felt a huge responsibility. Somehow, I felt like everything could go sideways. But then, here today, I feel like, and I wish that my younger self would be at least as proud as me as I am about him. I didn't forget his dreams. Today, we complete ourselves in this perpetual cycle. And we merge music and technology. We are all composers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.